Well, hey everybody. Um, I'm back. Um, so I was listening to my last podcast on social media and going dark, which I am working on, and it's not that easy to just sever ties and redesign my website to get it back to something a little more manageable. But while I was listening to it, because yes, I have to listen to them 3 or 4 times to get them edited half-assed correctly, I was thinking, the whole thing with groups. Preppers are into their groups and their posse, their team, their bug out retreat. And I was thinking, it always comes up that people are saying, well, we're a social people. We've always had tribes and grouped together as people. And yeah, that's true. And I think a lot of us um, enjoy the prepper genre, the end of the world, whether it's an EMP or a pandemic or a social collapse or, you name your poison, they're all out there. And if you really think about those books and movies, um, it's exactly what I was talking about with social media and virtual friends and crap. You know, how to how do people, group together as a tribe 100 years ago or even after a collapse um, is very one-on-one. Most of the stories, these people will lay down their life for each other, just like brothers in arms. In any battle situation, the people that have your back and have gone through hell and back with you, there's a bond there that isn't easily broken. And that comes from human contact. You know, these aren't their virtual world. You know, uh, Call of Duty friends. These are real friends that they've been fighting with, side by side, and watching their friends get shot, whether it's in a battle or in a book where they group together, out of necessity, and then all of a sudden they lose one or two of their people, and they're really saddened. So yes, are we a social group? Well, sure we are. I don't play well with others in a social group environment, so I have a real authority problem, taking orders from some douchebag that, thinks he knows everything when probably hasn't even figured out why water flows downhill yet. So it would be against my grain, to play by those rules. But it doesn't mean that we're not a social species of creature. Wolves run in packs and stuff, and it's natural that humans group together, out of necessity. But most of the time it's more organic than that, especially in a collapse type of situation to where the shit has hit the fan and you synergistically, I guess, come together out of happenstance or fortuitous ways that you meet up and you connect. There's a connection there, and they have like values and all that, and so you become close. This is a far cry from what happens, on Facebook and stuff, where we all group together because we all like the same meme and and bullshit like that. So, I was talking a little bit about reevaluating your life and what's important to you. And yeah, having friends, even on social media, is nice. You do meet people that you just click with. I would say probably a handful of people that I've met out of the hundreds of, friends, on Facebook that are really, we do see eye to eye together, and that's how I've met John Jeffers and people like that. Don Lowry, I met, on the job site. We were talking and we just kind of hit it off because we think alike and we're both kind of rednecks and hillbillies. And well, I can't really say rednecks and hillbillies in the same sentence because Terry Cass would get mad at me because the difference between a hillbilly and a redneck is respect because hillbillies have respect. rednecks, not so much. So, but me and Don just kind of click that way. We think alike, and we laugh at the same sick, sarcastic fucking humor. And John Jeffers, I met him, on Facebook actually, and reached out and contacted him, and we started talking, and we've talked on the phone a few times. He's just a great guy. But there's not that many. There's a couple others that I've talked to only on Facebook because they live so far away, and messaged and all that, and we think alike. But of all the rest of them, there's not that many. They make me laugh and shit like that, but I don't think I'll be willing to take a bullet for them. So there is a dynamic that needs to be considered, with Facebook and social media and all that happy shit. But it's not that important when we're reevaluating because, you know, 90% of the prepper community will tell you that we need to, be in a team because we're social. Well, okay, we are. It's probably genetic and wired into us on a DNA level. But when you really think about your life and the people that have come into it and have caused you great joy or a connection, these are people you actually met, like on the street. You shook hands, you talked, you, you, you looked at them, you could see them. Social media doesn't give you that. And so that's what I'm trying to distance myself from is getting caught up in that. Plus, I just don't have the time to dick around with as much social media. Like I'm at the office today, and it's slow. It's the day before 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, everyone! And I hope that all the liberals' heads explode when Trump rolls out all the new tanks and stuff and freaks everyone out in the libtard world. Because we wouldn't have independence if you know our founders and patriots back then didn't rise up against tyranny and just kill them. They didn't talk them to death with bad words. They literally shot them. They bled out on the field and died. So weapons of war, as much as it offends probably much of the snowflake community out there, it's too fucking bad. I hope Trump rolls out the whole new fleet and shows everyone, because that's patriotism. It's like, yeah, we are still the biggest dog on the porch. So f all of you and the rest of the third world, go to hell. And we are exceptional as a people and as a nation. If we weren't, nobody would be breaking the law and coming into our country illegally in numbers of millions per year. If we were such a heinous shithole. So F all them, F the Democrats, and all the people that whine and complain about America and the flag being racist. You know what? Fuck you, Kaepernick. Got the first name right. It's just a giant colon. So I'm happy that it's Independence Day, and there are people that I know personally, that I've talked to, shaken their hand and got to know their family and talked to them, that wouldn't find what I just said about, you know, Kaepernick and all the libtards out there. They'd laugh right along with me. Now, see, on social media, there's always those people that are going to get offended and report you to Facebook, and then Facebook gets all butthurt. And, oh, and then it's kind of an interesting coincidence that today, the internet's having all these problems with images and videos. After the government had a meeting or something like that, or the Pentagon did. So I think there's more nefarious bullshit going on in the background than they're letting us know. But what the fuck were the plebes? What do we care? Just shut up. You know, aliens could land on the White House and they'd tell us it never happened, even though we saw the video footage of it. They'd just go, well, that's special effects. So, they're never going to tell us shit. So, fuck them too. But I guess the underlying thing with all this is, we need to reevaluate our lives and figure out what's really important. And the social environment that we have available to us has led to no good, or the country would be doing really well as far as the people. Racism would be gone, and everyone would love each other and all that. So obvious, it's not working. I mean, you can judge it just by that. Everyone says, well, we have all this social connection, and everyone's talking to everyone, and blah blah blah. And really, what good has it done us? I say none, none at all. So, you know, happy 4th of July. I think America don't have too many of those coming in the future because, the media and the corrupt politicians and the actual puppet masters have been on track to destroy America since the ink was drying on the Constitution and the ratification. So, don't think there's not a plan afoot out there to just screw America and turn us back into a Commonwealth socialist bunch of shit. That's been their plan. They've said it abundantly, made it clear that they want to destroy America. It's not because we have a prettier flag than them, or we have, you know, prettier buildings than them, or any of that. It's the freedom, it's the liberty that they hate because it's hard to control free people. A control freak's head will explode if you exert any personal authority over your life when they're trying to tell you to live a different way. They will just, blood will shoot out of their eyes. They will freak out so bad. So it's nothing to do with all the happy, crap that they feed us. That it's America. It's our exceptionalism. It's, our flag, the way we talk, the way we dress. Oh, fuck that. It is the fact that we are free and we have liberty. And we used to be a republic. And that meant we ran our own lives. We were sovereign. States were sovereign. States governed themselves. And the federal government was just a management company to kind of keep it all heading in the right direction. And so they've been trying to destroy that for a long time. And they're real. I mean, they're that close. Like, I can get that up to the camera so you can see it. See, it's like there's just enough room in there for air molecules to move around. They're that close. And if you watch the clown show, that Democratic debate, it was like a Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory. They're just handing out candy quicker than anything. You know, Listening to that was just, it's hard to figure out as a left-handed football bat. It just makes no sense because it's not real. So these politicians, all of them, act like we are the plebes, and they have to take care of us. And really, it was not set up that way. There's no safety nets in the original Constitution. If you went broke because you were a dumbass, then you're fucking broke. You better pick yourself up pretty damn quick, or you're going to get ran over. That's the way it is. It's like New York CPR. You know, I heard this from a New Yorker, so I thought it was funny as shit. But it is like, he goes, you know what New York CPR is, don't you? And I go, no. And he goes, it's like, hey, get the fuck up. You're going to fucking die. That's CPR. It's like if you fall down because you're a jackass and an idiot and you go bankrupt or you get strung out on drugs or you become an alcoholic or you become a dumbass, pick yourself up. That was the safety net. You always had the ability in America to pick yourself back up. No one was going to pick you up unless you had a friend that maybe was standing next to you and helped pick you up. The reality is the government wasn't designed to pick up every loser on the road. It's like hitchhikers. I mean, you got a minivan and you can carry, 8 people, 10 very uncomfortably, and maybe 12 if you strap a few on the top. And the liberals are just driving around the road picking everyone up. Ah, get on, get on, get on. Eventually, it just doesn't work. It just, come on, physics will tell you it's not going to go anywhere. So that's what they're doing, and they're working real hard at it. So it's time to reevaluate our objective, in life, because we will all get caught with our pants down. We've let our country and our freedom and our liberty pretty much slip away. It would be a damn miracle if we even recovered any of it. And unfortunately, when the Constitution collapses, we would be left with 50 sovereign states. But you know, most politicians are too stupid to understand what that means. So it will just collapse. And in theory, it should fall all the way back down to the people, and then we're still in charge. But see, we don't know how to be in charge now, do we? Because we need a handout. Help me. I'm falling down. That's what America seems like. That old commercial, help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. Everyone in America is that person in that ad. Help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh, here comes the politician. Well, we'll just create a safety program for you. There you go. Now we'll help you up and we'll pay all your bills and we'll take care of you. And nobody can sit there and go, no, no, I got this. Get the hell away from me. Fuck. No, we're all like, oh, thank you. I had fallen down and I couldn't get back up. Oh, how'd you fall down? Well, I opened a business and I was such a dumbass because I never studied, accounting and economics that I went broke. Ah, you poor baby. Well, here, we'll help you. Obama said you didn't build that anyway, so don't feel bad about it. It's conservatives' fault. White privilege. Well, yeah, but I'm white. Yeah, but you're not white enough, Whitey. So this is where we're going. I mean, if you really, really, you actually really look at it, you really analyze what's going on with our society, and you stand back without your prepper hat or your patriot hat, and you just look, and you read the writing on the wall, you read between the lines. Where the fuck do you think we're heading? Well, socialism. So that's the first step to communism and total collapse and control. So the usher in socialism, because there's enough dumbasses out there that somehow seem to think that socialism is an awesome thing. So if you really look at the pulse of America, you have a lot of uncertainty, and you have a big majority of swing voters that don't have a clue, and they're just going to flow with the wind. And if the wind blows hard enough, and they can make our president look bad enough, that that majority might tip in the other way. And if it does, then that gives them a mandate because, all they've done is talk about social programs and free shit for the last 2 years when time the election comes up. Well, then basically the majority, and I don't believe in majority rule, but the majority of people have said, hey, I'm just too fucking stupid to figure this out myself. You run my life. And that's where we'll be. We'll wake up in that situation. And and thank God America's such a big country, landmass wise, that a few of us can disappear. Get the hell out of Dodge. So we will, when that time comes, you will be grouping with your friends. Um, you know, none of the people on social media and none of the prepping experts and Bear Grylls will be there to help you. So you need to really foster and nurture real friendships, real alliances with real living, breathing people, not some clown behind a wall of anonymity that says he likes you a lot. Doesn't even know where you live, really. Maybe he does. He's a fucking stalker. So you need real friends, real people that will literally care about you enough to carry you through the hard times because they know you'll carry them through the hard times. And that might be 4 or 5 people if you're lucky. That's a big group of friends. You got 4 or 5 really good friends, you're doing something all right. Because most people will tell you at the end of their lives, old people, that they had 2 or 3 really good friends throughout their life that they could count on all the time. Now, granted, a lot of people, veterans and stuff, they have their band of brothers that they served with that they know will lay down their life for them even 20 years later. But for the average American, the average Joe, Jane, we don't have that many. So the whole concept of a team and a group is really just a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. So it's there's an avalanche. We've heard the crack of the branch or the rumble of the snow. It's coming, and it's past the point of no return. And so you only have a couple options, depending on the speed and the velocity and everything. You might be able to jump aside and survive, or just get swallowed up by the wave, the avalanche of social programs and stupid ass people. And I've mentioned this before, and I'll do it again. There's a movie with Andy Garcia, um, Lost City, and it's the fall of Cuba. During that time, the 50s or whenever it was. I think it was the early 50s. Um, and you see how those that wanted this change, once they came to even a monicum of pseudo power, they just stepped in and started controlling things. To the point to where they're like, you can't play this musical instrument in your nightclub. We find it offensive, and you're not going to logic them out of it, because they now have the guns. They won. You lost. It's over. Elections and revolutions have consequences, and if you're not fighting for the right side, then you're going to lose. If you survive. But if you're fighting for the right side and you do survive, then you're in a good place. If you die, then it really doesn't matter, does it now? But it's coming to that. You see these Antifa or Antifa or whatever those losers call themselves, anti-fascist, which is fascism. You know, it's it's just it's mind-numbingly news speak. The way they do this. But you see them now; they're getting more and more violent with lead pipes, and they're going from throwing milkshakes on people to where they're saying they're going to start throwing acid on people. Well, when is enough enough? We either stay home and shut up to where we don't get caught up in that and get arrested or hurt, or we go out and get in the thick of it. Well, if you stay home, then you're losing that battle. If you go out and get in the fight, you might get arrested. So they've framed, literally physically framed the argument, the debate, to where it's pretty damn close to a no-win situation. Now, if I was, so inclined to be at one of those rallies, for whatever the cause be, and Antifa was going to show up because they're so predictable, then I'd probably have 10 or 15, 20, 30, 40 people, in a group. And then, you grab one of the asshats that's, got his black mask on and a lead pipe, and you just surround him and zip tie him, zip tie his ankles, take his hood off, put a mega hat on him and a protest sign, and walk away. and let all his friends beat the shit out of him. That would be funny. I mean, that would be funny. Um, you could eventually you have to fight. You can't continue to let the bully pick on you. Eventually you have to fight. And then when you get to that point, see, you've made a decision. You've entered into gray area because the police will stand down for all the dumbasses to do dumbass shit. The minute you fight back, you're the bad guy, and you could go to jail. So we as patriots need to be a little damn more organized and have legal representation on standby and all that to where you fight back. Because you give some of these guys a good ass whooping, they might not rethink their decision making paradigm, but they might stay home next time because they got beat so damn bad. Because that's their agenda. See, they beat that poor reporter dude up so bad that he'll probably really think twice before he goes out to one of those rallies again. So how do you fight that? How do you fight an enemy that's basically hands off? You can't touch him because the government, the mayors, and the police department are just like, we're going to stand down. Well, what if I shoot that fucker? Oh, well, then we're not going to stand down because that's wrong. Oh, beating someone upside the head with a lead pipe is okay, but defending myself or my friends is wrong. So you know the agenda. You know the rules of engagement. You know whatever you do, you're going to lose. So you have to find a different way to skin that cat, basically. Like I said, zip tie a few of them and put a mega hat on them, or a MAGA hat, or however you pronounce that, and let them get their ass beat by their own people. You know, jerk their gloves off and their stupid black scarves or balaclavas, and rip their shirt off and put a Trump, shirt on them, and just abuse the fucker. I don't care. Strip them naked and put put some Trump shirt on them. Leave them zip tied on the ground to a pole, and let them, get beat. I think that would be funny as shit. It'd definitely work. And if you grab enough of them, eventually, you know, I think you might change the direction, of the battle in that one protest. Or you maybe just drag them into a back alley and kick the shit out of them. But that's cruel. See, we're all willing to die for our country and stand when that time comes. But oh, I'm not going to get five of my friends to drag this piece of shit into a back alley and put a beat down on them. That just wouldn't be right. Well, then you've lost. You might as well stay home. I mean, literally, just stay home. No one needs you there. So it's come to a boiling point to where people have to step outside the box and go, um, that guy seems to be the leader. Um, let's go, send a few distractions out there to get his people, running and chasing this guy. Let's grab him and take him into an alley and just beat the living shit out of him, put a Trump hat on him, and throw him in the dumpster. That sounds good. But if we're not willing to take it to another level, then just really stay home, surrender. Elect Bernie Sanders and just get it over with. So, you need friends. I'm not saying that you don't need groups, but they have to be real. They have to be physical people that you can touch. And we need that contact as humans. So as I was making my last podcast on, social media that being the death of real friends and family, um, you do need that real physical connection with real physical people. And they're the ones that can have your back because all your social friends aren't at the Antifa rally when you're getting your ass kicked. They might watch it and go, man, that sucked. Prayers to you, man. Oh, good. Yeah, it's not going to help pay my medical bills, but okay, thanks. No, You want somebody there that just steps in with a bigger lead pipe and puts a beat down on that asshole and drags you off, get some medical attention. That's what you need. And so when you really analyze the genres of the end of the world books and different, you know, prepping or zombie or whatever you're into, um, all the social media shit has collapsed and because it's the end of the fucking world. Um, so how are you gonna, you know, have any virtual friends anyway? So everyone gets along really great in a team in a book because the world has ended because you have nothing left but physical friends and contact with people. But don't let that translate into your world online because they're not going to be there for you. They can't. They live in another state. Might really sympathize with you, but too bad. You got your ass kicked. Shouldn't have been there, dude. Well, I should have shot him. No, you'll get arrested. See, you can already see the trajectory of this argument in America. We're losing. You know, the bullet is falling way short and has drifted way off course. We are losing every social battle out there. And most of them we have lost. We just don't know it. So I don't know if this is a podcast about groups or social acquaintances or just revolution and fighting back. I guess you'll have to listen to the whole thing to figure it out, won't you? But we, the people, need to get educated and we need to get confrontational. I'm not calling for gunfights, but I am calling for good, good old fashioned fisticuff, I guess. Grab some of them Antifa jackasses and just give them a beat down. You don't have to kill the guy, you know, but you definitely need to maybe put him in the hospital for a couple days and send him some flowers when he's there and go, hey, did you enjoy your ass kicking, you piece of shit? Next time I see you on the street, I'm going to do it again because you're a pussy. And this is America you're fucking with. So you might think it's all cute and wonderful to fly your Antifa flag. But next time I see it, I'm going to take that flag and I'm going to wrap you in it and set it on fire. Now that's confrontational, but it might make them think. So like I said, it's just me venting. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Love every one of you. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later. Hey, enjoy the apocalypse. Bye bye.